Hi, how are you doing? This is IBM-i By Doing. Welcome to IBM-i By Doing, a series of video sessions in which we do hands-on projects programming the IBM-i Midrange computer. I'm Madhu Vasudevan with over 20 years of IBM-i work experience at your service. The target audience is newbie programmers who want to learn RPG-4 or RPG ILE on IBM-i. We will mount our RPG bikes right on top of the Subfile hill and slide down the valley of data file processing in RPG-4 ILE. Just follow along. Working along with me, you will be able to do this. Early in this series, we will tackle the fabled RPG subfile, and we will create every possible variation of the subfile. We will create physical files, logical files, display files, printer files, and of course the RPG ILE programs to handle all these files. We will create some information display screens, some data entry screens, and generate some reports. Our subfile inquiry program will allow muggles to look up multiple train records in one screen. The search screen will accept a center name as input. After entering a center name, the muggle will press the enter key. Our program will pull up one page full of records of trains going to that center. If the muggle hits the enter key without inputting a center name, our program will pull up one page full of records of trains going to any and all the centers sorted alphabetically. If more is shown at the bottom and the muggle hits page down key, our program will pull up the next page of train records. From any page, user can press page up key, then our program will pull up the previous page of train records. This process can be continued until all requested data records have been viewed as subfile pages. After the last requested record has been loaded to the subfile, bottom will show at the bottom of the last page. If user presses page down key when bottom is shown, error message is shown and keyboard is locked. Finally, F3 may be pressed to quit the inquiry program and end the inquiry session. The city-wise trains information may be viewed by directly querying the physical file. We will run the query command on the physical file train set with the record select parameter set to view the records for specific centers. We will thus verify that our inquiry subfile is indeed working correctly. To keep me motivated to produce more and even better quality free content, please subscribe to this channel. Hit the like button below, leave a comment or two, and share this video with your colleagues, friends, and other IBM-i enthusiasts. Hit the bell icon below to actively follow along with the rest of our series. Having created a display file with a subfile for inquiring on the train's information, let's create an inquiry single-page subfile program. Source member train SFL3 is open in Visual Studio Code editor window. There are no column restrictions while coding in free format RPG-4. In the very first row, first column, you could key in ** free and hit enter. Now you can code in any row, any column you want. However, to be able to view the code without error highlighting in the green screen SEU, especially the CSpec or calculation lines, we will keep all code between columns 8 through 80. Note cursor's line number and column number displayed in Visual Studio Code's bottom frame. Delete the ** free. In the very first line, tab over to column 7 and key in the compiler directive /free. Hit enter some 20 times. To move cursor down to line 20, column 7, and key in the enclosing compiler directive /end-free. Let's start keying in the header spec, now called control options. Move cursor to line number 2, column number 8 and key in the first optional control option, copyright within brackets, within quotes, IBM-i By Doing, 2022, end the statement with the delimiter semicolon, hit enter. Next optional control option, text within brackets, within quotes, single page only subfile within bracket, subfile size equals subfile page, end the statement with the delimiter semicolon and hit enter. Next control option, date format within bracket *USA. You are setting the program's default format for date fields as the US model. Semicolon enter. Press Ctrl S to save the member's code so far. Note this circle here has changed to an X to denote that the program has been saved. After a blank line, let us key in the fspec, now called the file declarations. Declare file, our logical file transl, which is a keyed file, and semicolon. That is all that is required to declare an externally described file for input. But we will key in the default values just to make it clear in the program. Keyword disk within brackets *ext for externally described. Keyword usage within brackets *input. Next line, let us declare the next file. TrainQ3 is a display file which is called a workstation file within bracket *ext for externally described. Usage of both input and output is assumed for display files, hence we don't have to specifically state it, but subfile keyword is up next. Sfile within bracket subfile record format name SFL train colon subfile active record number holding field name RRN. Hit enter and tab over to continue this declaration into the next line. Note that we have not yet keyed in the statement delimiter semicolon, and in free format you can extend a statement over multiple lines. Next keyword INDDS for indicator data structure within brackets the data structure name indicators semicolon. Hit enter. Press Ctrl S to save the file declarations. Next, let us declare and define the data structure. Declare data structure indicators semicolon. This declaration needs an end declaration, end ds semicolon. Indented within, key in a comment, response indicators, F3 exit, which is a field of type indicator at position 3 semicolon. Next up, define F12 cancel an indicator at position 12 semicolon. Next line, key in the comment, conditional indicators, SFL clear an indicator at position 50, SFL DSP indicator at position 51 as per our display file, keyword declarations, SFL end indicator at position 55, page down indicator at position 52, page up indicator at position 53, and center not found indicator at position 90. Next, let us declare the constants and variables that we will need in this program. Declare constant rex in page, a constant with value 15, which stands for the number of records in our subfile page as declared in our display file. Next, declare the standalone field I, which is a counter field of type integer, size 5. We need not define the 0 decimal positions for the integer field. Hit enter. Press Ctrl S to save the code so far. Press page down. Let's start keying in the program's main logic. Begin with a comment. The important functionality of this program, load single page only. Begin with a do-while loop. Do-while not F3 exit key pressed. This do-while needs an undo. Make sure we are coding only between column numbers 8 and 80. Indented within the do-while loop. X format, which means write and then read the record format center inquiry, CNTR-INQ. Next line, if statement, if not F3 exit key pressed. This if needs an end if. Indented within the if statement. Execute subroutine check center. This is a subroutine we are yet to code, in which we just check what center name the user keyed in. Key in the if statement. If not, center not found, meaning a valid center name was input by the user, or the user hit enter on a blank center name, which is also considered a valid input. This if needs an end if. Indented within the if statement. Start a do until loop. Do until not page up and not page down. That means do this do until loop as long as page up or page down key is pressed by the user. This do until needs a end do. Within the do until loop, if statement, if page up key is pressed. This if needs an end if. Execute subroutine rewind. Rewind is a subroutine we are yet to write, in which we back up 2 pages. So let's comment it here. After the end if, execute the subroutine clear subfile. Next line, execute the subroutine load subfile, in which we load only 1 page. So let's comment that here. Load 1 page only. Hit enter. Next we write the footer record format, semicolon, next line. X format, that is write and then read the control record format, CTL train, overlaid over the footer record format. And that's all there is to our main logic. As always, let's conclude by setting on the last record indicator *INLR and the return statement. Press Ctrl S to save our program logic so far. Next we need to key in subroutines one by one. Press page down, make some room, and from column number 8, let's begin coding the subroutines. Start with a comment, a long line of stars. Highlight and copy the long line of stars. Paste it 1 line below. In between the starred lines, insert the comment. Check center requested and position database cursor. That is what this subroutine is supposed to do. Begin subroutine, check center, semicolon. This begin subroutine needs an end subroutine, semicolon. Let's add the comment, name of the subroutine that is ending in this line, indented within the subroutine. If center name equals star blanks. This if needs an end if, indented within the if statement. Position cursor to the beginning of the logical file transitl if user input blanks for center name. Next line, check for end of file of transitl. If built-in function %end of file transitl, this if needs an end if, indented within the if statement. Turn on the validation indicator center not found. Insert an else clause within the if statement center name equals blanks. Else, if center name is not equal to blanks. Search within the logical file with the key center name. Next line, check the result of the setll, whether you found a match for the center name keyed in by the user or not. If not, built-in function %equal transitl, meaning an exact match for the center name keyed in by the user, was not found in our logical file. This if needs an end if. Turn on the validation flag center not found. That's all there is to our subroutine check center. Press Ctrl S to save the code so far. Page down and make some room for the next subroutine. Highlight and copy the first 4 lines of the previous subroutine, paste it below. Highlight and copy the last 2 lines from the previous subroutine, paste it below, page up. Let's key in the clear subfile subroutine next. So highlight the name of the subroutine and change it to clear subfile. Highlight and copy the subroutine name. Highlight the subroutine name in the end subroutine line and replace it with clear subfile. So we know clear subfile subroutine ends in this line. Indented within the subroutine, set off SFL DSP, set on SFL clear indicator, and write the subfile control record format CTL train. Semicolon enter, set off SFL clear keyword, initialize the subfile active record number field RRN to 0, and set off SFL end keyword. Highlight the comment above the subroutine and key in clear subfile and set RRN to 0. We have keyed in our clear subfile subroutine. Press Ctrl S to save it. Let's key in the load subfile subroutine, the important one in which we load only one single page of subfile records. Highlight the first 4 lines of the previous subroutine and copy it. Paste it below. Highlight and copy the last 2 lines from the previous subroutine and paste it below. Highlight the subroutine name. Change it to load subfile, highlight and copy it, and paste it in the last line of the end subroutine, so we know load subfile subroutine ends in this line. Highlight the comment above the subroutine and change it to load single subfile page records only. Press page down. Indented within the subroutine, start a do until loop. Do until SFL end or RRN equals Rexin page. Insert a comment that this do until condition is evaluated only at the end do, which is the peculiarity of the do until loop, which needs an end do. Within the do until loop, execute subroutine read forward, in which we read one single record from the transitl logical file. Check for end of file of transitl using the built-in function %EOF and set the SFL end indicator to on or off depending on end of file transitl. If statement, if not SFL end, meaning one record was successfully read from the logical file. This if needs an end if, within which we increment RRN, the active subfile record holding field, and write the subfile record format, SFL train. Hit enter, insert an else within the if not SFL end statement. If we are at end of file, insert the comment, if at end of file, reposition database file cursor to last record read. Position cursor or record pointer to end of file and execute subroutine read backward. This is a subroutine we are yet to code, in which we just read backward or read previous or read prior one single record. Like the opposite of read forward, read backward reads back one single record. Finally, just before we end the subroutine, insert the statement SFL DSP equals within bracket RRN greater than 0. So we set on the subfile display indicator depending on whether we have any single record within the active subfile record number holder field. That is all there is to load subfile subroutine. Press Ctrl S to save it. Let us key in the rewind subroutine. Highlight and copy the first 4 lines from the previous subroutine. Paste it below. Highlight and copy the last 2 lines from the previous subroutine. Paste it below. Press the page down key. Highlight the subroutine name. Change it to rewind. Copy the subroutine name. Paste it in the end subroutine line. Highlight the subroutine's comment. Change it to the comment on page up key reposition database file cursor. indented within the subroutine. Start with the comment, read back through last displayed records. Start a for loop for I equals 1 to RRN. This for needs an end for. Indented within the for loop. Execute subroutine, read backward. Immediately check for end of file with the built-in function %end of file transl. This if needs an end if. While rewinding, if you hit end of file, just leave the for loop. Key in the comment, read back another page full of records. Start an if not end of file transl. This if needs an end if. Indented within the if, another for loop. For I equals 1 to Rexon page, the for needs an end for. Within the for loop, execute subroutine read backward. Check for end of file right away. If built-in function %end of file transl, the if needs an end if. Within the if end of file, leave the for loop. And one final piece to this subroutine, explanatory comment. If beginning of file is ever reached, reposition to read the first record. If %end of file transl, if needs an end if, indented within the if, execute subroutine, check center, in which we position the database file cursor to the first record to be read. That is all there is to this rewind subroutine. Press Ctrl S to save it. And we have to key in the last two subroutines, the two read subroutines, read forward and read backward. Highlight and copy the first 4 lines from the previous subroutine. Press page up, copy it below. Highlight and copy the last 2 lines from the previous subroutine, copy it below. Highlight the subroutine name, change it to read forward. Highlight and copy the subroutine name, paste it in the last end subroutine line so we know which subroutine ends in this line. Highlight the comment on the subroutine, change it to read next record from database file, indented within the subroutine, key in an if center name equals star blanks, the if needs an end if, just read the next record from the transl logical file. Key in an else clause to this if statement, else if center name is not equal to blanks, read equal with center name into the logical file transl. That's all there is to read forward. Press Ctrl S to save the code so far, and we are left with the one last subroutine we need to key in, read backward. Highlight and copy the first 4 lines from the previous subroutine, paste it below. Highlight and copy the last 2 lines from the previous subroutine, paste it below. Press page up, highlight the subroutine name, change it to read backward. Highlight and copy the subroutine name, paste it in the end subroutine line so we know which subroutine ends in this line. Highlight the comment above the subroutine. Key in the new comment, read previous record from database file. Within the subroutine, start with an if statement. If the center name input by the user is blanks, the if needs an end if. Just read the prior record from the transl logical file. Key in an else clause for the if center name equals blanks statement. If the center name input by the user was not blanks, then read prior equal with center name into transl logical file. That's all there is to read backward subroutine. Press Ctrl S to save it. Remove the unnecessary blank lines below. And we are done with the program. So save it, Ctrl S one more time. Having created a display file with a subfile for inquiring on the train's information, let's create an inquiring single-page subfile program. To keep me motivated to produce more and even better quality free content, please subscribe to this channel. Hit the like button below, leave a comment or 2, and share this video with your colleagues, friends, and other IBMi enthusiasts. Hit the bell icon below to actively follow along with the rest of our series.